Beyond that, I'd like to give you a quick tour of the GoMushroom camper van, show you some of the things that you need to know while you're hopefully out and about enjoying the countryside of North Wales. So it's a diesel camper van, and that's accessed via the flap near the passenger door. You have to open the passenger door to get into there. So if you keep moving down the passenger side, we come to the point where you top up the water. We make sure this is topped up for you when you collect the camper van, and that'll be more than enough for a short break and what have you. But if you are staying for a week or more, you might want to top it up. When you do top the water tank up, make sure you drain the wastewater tank as well. The tap for draining the tank is just on the inside under the sink, and the point where the water waste comes out is just by this passenger rear wheel. And then next to the water point, we've got the electrical hookup as well. The cable for the hookup is inside, just under the rear passenger seat. And that doesn't give you that much actually, but it does give you one extra 240 volt socket, which is just behind the passenger seat. If you move around to the back of the van, we've got this bike rack as well. Can fit up to 4 bikes here. You sit the 4 bikes on top of the rack here, and then you slide these saddles underneath each wheel, and then you push this tape through the spokes of the wheel and click it firmly into place. And then again, if you go back to that drawer, which is under the rear seat, there are some clamps on there that'll help you secure the bikes at the top. And there's a key for these bike holders on the ignition key again. So one of the last things on the outside is this awning. This extends right out to give you a bit of shelter when you've parked up somewhere. There's a key again in the drawer under the passenger seat. And then when you've brought the awning about a foot out, I tend to get the legs out. These are sprung loaded on a little pin inside, and you bring these down, put them to the floor, and then there's a little lever here that you just lift up to lock them into position. And the same on the other side. And the last thing in this drawer are the blinds for the side windows. There are magnets in the seams to help you click those in place. All the other blinds are inside the window, sort of integrated in place already. So if you start going into the van, one of the nicest features I think are these deck chairs, which are stowed away in the rear door. 2 deck chairs here that pop out. There's a table as well in the side sliding door that you can pop out and have a set of table and chairs outside. An extra gas bottle. That really is for the barbecue, the Kadak barbecue that we supply you. It's a great little barbecue, so I'd recommend using that. And that's powered with this gas bottle. But this gas bottle as well will act as a backup for the main gas for you. For the main gas for the 2 hobs that are inside. And that gas bottle is stored under this panel here. Under this sealed lid. Keep a spanner in here to help you. Just make sure the gas bottle is off. And the spanner set in its widest setting. Use that. Loosen the regulator. Take that away and change the gas bottle. And if we go into the main body of the camper van, we've got the fridge, and we've got 2 gas hobs, and then we've got the sink that we saw earlier. We've also got this stowaway table. There's a little lever just on the inside there that you press, slide it out, and then a leg that you extend out and place on the floor like that. And once you've got that table out, you can spin these seats around as well. That's a bit fiddly, if I'm honest. You have to pull the seat forward first, then wind it right forward on the side. Make sure it's in park on the driver's side. Take the handbrake off, and then there's a lever just to the front of the chair here that you have to press, and then you spin it round. So if we move on to the beds, there are 2 beds altogether. We can sleep up to 4. This lower bed is probably more comfortable, though the mattress is a bit thicker on this. So the first thing you have to do is to slide it right forward, like so. And there are buttons just below the headrest here that you press and collapse those backwards, like so. Then there's a bit of tape just between the seat belts here. Can be a bit fiddly, that can fall down. If you go digging for that, you pull the tape up and you can push that seat right down to there, and then this mattress folds out to give you your lower bed. So if we move through to the front of camper van, really nice to drive, really comfortable. Automatic gearbox. If you've never driven an automatic before, the only thing I'd say is try and remember to keep your left foot on this flat platform there, just using your right foot to brake and accelerate. It's a good sound system, so it's worth hooking up your phone to the Bluetooth or your tablet if you've brought some films along with you. But then the main part we need to look at, of course, is this control panel up above. So we press this button once to wake it up. We can control most things from here. We can control the auxiliary heater, and that works by burning some diesel to give you a nighttime heater. The only thing I would suggest is not to put it on too high. There are various levels there when you select it. When you choose the level, I would suggest that 2 or 3 is probably high enough. If you go up to 6 or 7, I think you'll find that a bit too hot. Press this to go back. As well, we can control the refrigerator, so we can switch that on by switching there, and again we can choose which level, and again I would suggest level 6 or something like that. And then last but not least, of course, is the roof that pops up. If we go into that menu, we need to make sure the ignition's on, and we need to slide this cover back to here. And if we press the button when it's on open, you'll hear the motor starting and the roof going up. Towards the end of the cycle, you'll hear the motor straining, but there's no need to worry, just hold your button down and it'll come to an automatic stop. And doing that gives you an extra bed space up there, more suitable for children perhaps. But even if there's only the 2 of you, it's well worth popping the roof up, because of course the other thing it gives you is all this extra headroom when you are parked up. Gives you room to stand and work at the sink and prepare your dinner. And then when you're ready to move on and you want to close the roof, you go back into the menu, go into pop-up roof again, and this time we're going to choose close, and you press and hold again. then you do get a message. It asks you to check 3 things. It asks you to make sure that the doors are open, just to make sure the air can get out. It also asks you to double check up on top to make sure there are that nothing's been left on that top mattress. It's quite important that you do that, because if you leave a shoe or even a small pencil or something there, it can damage the roof, unfortunately. So make sure everything's nice and clear at the top and that the mattress is pulled right forward so it's not kicking up at the back. Then once you're happy, you go back to the menu and you can keep closing it.